Good morning, everybody. It's a great pleasure to invite you to the CME of the Golden Jubilee Conference of Andhra Pradesh State Annual Conference, which is being held in a virtual platform for the first time in its history. We are happy to collect a great sets of senior teachers and gems to address you with their lifetime research in this event. The theme of the event is Retro to Metro. Retro is the past, Metro is the future. In the present, we should neither be criticizing all that is the past and the old, nor should be embracing all that is the future without knowing the pitfalls and risks. An intelligent and balanced surgeon will understand, evaluate, and balance retro and metro and join them together. For the very first talk of the CME program, I have a very great pleasure in inviting Dr. Arup Mukherjee, a very senior orthopedic surgeon from Delhi, who has made a name for himself with what is now well known as the Mukherjee regime. And here he will be talking about purely medical management of avascular necrosis of hip, which is a daunting problem for most surgeons as it happens in young patients, and they end up having hip replacements which do not outlast the patient's lifetime, causing major anguish to the patient. His philosophy and principle is that avascular necrosis is caused by vascular occlusion of the femoral head in those 30% of patients who have a deviant vascular supply with a single blood, and it is a synovial inflammatory process that strangles the vessels, and by giving disease modifying anti-rheumatoid drugs, you can open up the channels and revascularize the head and even open up the joint spaces. The talk will be a little surprising and shocking to the one who is not open-minded. And some of the clinical examples shown by Mukherjee are really sensational. Please watch the talk and enjoy it properly. Thank you. Okay. Good morning, everybody. It's a great pleasure to introduce an outstanding speaker for this Golden Jubilee celebration of the Andhra Pradesh Orthopedic Association Conference. He is none else but the man behind the Mukherjee regime, Dr. Arup Mukherjee from Delhi. Avascular necrosis of hip joints is a troublesome situation for most surgeons, and hip arthroplasty is supposedly the common method of management. However, since Dr. Arup has introduced his wonderful methodology, people around the world are being benefited by cheap, inexpensive treatment for this difficult condition. Over to Dr. Arup to give his CME lecture on medical management or non-surgical management of avascular necrosis of the hip. Dr. Arup.
Thank you, Dr. Prakash, for your kind introduction. This is a topic of my interest for a long time, and this is not even interesting, but also a challenging situation for medical management. So we will be talking about avascular necrosis of the femoral head, which we see more frequently than any other avascular necrosis in found skeletal necrosis found anywhere in the body. I'm a hand surgeon and I came to know about avascular necrosis of lunate more frequently than avascular necrosis of the femoral head. Now, in lunate avascular necrosis, it is a subcutaneous bone. You can feel the tenderness, you can see the limitation of mobility, and you can then ask for further investigations. Whereas in femoral head, the bone, the area is deep seated. You cannot feel the synovitis, but of course, patient has even got a vague tenderness or a diffuse pain around the groin and sometimes in the knee, not even in the hip. So avascular necrosis clinically can only be judged by the mobility, not by the other clinical signs and classical symptoms. Before I start, I always pay my tribute to Dr. Yellapragada Subbarao, who was a man behind the discovery of folic acid and methotrexate, because no rheumatologist in the world can forget his contribution towards discovering these two medications, which are antidote to each other. So, why shall I be discussing about AVN as well as methotrexate? Because it is my experience that methotrexate or anti-rheumatoid is the treatment of avascular necrosis. Why I should say that? Because arthritis is the primary cause of vascular thrombosis, and in those cases, when you reverse the arthritis, the thrombosis also reverses. And that is the reason I suggest that the patients who are suffering from avascular necrosis should be given anti-arthritis treatment. That means DMARDs, disease modifying anti-rheumatoid drugs, in order to reverse their thrombosis. Now, who are the people who will develop this thrombosis? He is Professor A.K. Gupta, under whose guidance I pursued my medical education in orthopedics, and he always encouraged me to try and help those people who so-called are helpless, as in those days rheumatoid arthritis was a challenging condition, and he blessed me that if I can do a little change in their quality of life, they will come to you in flocks and herds. So what has happened about avascular necrosis, that with advent of MRI, avascular necrosis has become apparent or has come to the clinical domain much earlier than it used to be many years ago, because X-ray picture of avascular necrosis comes quite late. MRI is the only tool which can bring avascular necrosis into the domain or into the notice of the doctor. See, this is the MRI picture in which you can rarely see the X-ray lesion, but this is the avascular necrosis in an X-ray. The right side is affected more, the left side is affected less. Why shall I call that avascular necrosis is the effect of arthritis? In the right hip, you say that there is a loss of joint space, there is avascular necrosis of the femoral head, and the patient is also having restricted mobility and the whole joint is affected with arthritis and AVN together. On the left side, you see that the joint space is there, the avascular necrosis is there, but there is very little arthritis yet to develop. So in the same patient, you see this is a bilateral AVN, but the left side has got an intact joint space and the right side has lost the joint space. What has been traditionally taught to us is that once the joint space is gone, that joint space is gone forever. My theory and my practice involves the reverse of it, that a patient can develop arthritis with the loss of joint space, not with the bony ankylosis, I tell you, loss of joint space, but that joint space will appear again after a treatment of certain duration. And he will also achieve the range of motion, of course, limited range of motion in the same joint. So, in my definition, even if there is a short fibrous ankylosis, there will be a recovery of joint movement. Let me tell shortly about the history. I'm talking about a disease which was described in 1794, 200 years ago, more than 200 years ago. And the people in those days, there were no X-rays, and the people discovered this pathology by the autopsy or of the patients, and then they described that there is an entity called AVN. Now, as in 1888, Koenig differentiated the two types of necrosis, that he differentiated that there is a septic as well as aseptic necrosis. Septic necrosis we have all seen in our experience, and aseptic necrosis is what we are talking about. That is a discovery of 1888, 100 years ago. Now, in 1930, Phemister and his associates presented a detailed discussion on etiology and pathogenesis. In 1970, Mankind and Brouwer presented the pre-radiological and pathologically proved cases of osteonecrosis. That means he showed that the pathological picture of Ficket stage 1, when there is only structural changes to be studied at the microscopic level. Now, till 1990, when the MRI studies started coming up, then we could study more and could detect more about the avascular necrosis of the femoral head, because it came to the domain of surgical and clinical entity much earlier. Now, the epidemiology, about 15,000 cases per year in USA, 12% of the 5 lakh THR done are due to avascular necrosis. Now, there was a big group called as idiopathic. 1/3 of them were idiopathic. Now they attributed that 35% of these patients had a history of steroid intake due to various reasons of autoimmune disorders, and 22% were patients who were alcohol addicts, or they had alcohol abuse. Men were more commonly seen than women, but both of them, men and women, are involved in the same thing. Average age is young age. So, suggesting a hip replacement is not a good option. Femoral head. Now, which are the sites? Femoral head is the most common site. Other places are knee, small bones of the wrist, foot, humeral head. 91% of recognized cases of multifocal AVN are due to steroid intake. Now, have a look. This is a AVN of the femoral condyle, and these, I want to submit that these avascular necrosis of the femoral condyle happen more frequently, and that is the reason of osteochondral fracture, which we see in youngsters after even a minor injury. Because of this avascular necrosis, the small chips of osteochondral fractures happen, and which we already have seen so many times in our clinical practice. This is the histopathology, and if you see quickly that this is the bone, and the bone cells are replaced by the fatty cells, and that is the reason even before MRI, the histopathology will tell that this bone is suffering from avascular necrosis. That means Ficat stage 1 will be detected in histopathology. Now, clinical presentation, because it is so difficult to even diagnose this problem at times, there are 5 types of clinical presentation. One is non-specific clinical picture, and patient is asymptomatic. Why patient is asymptomatic? Because in our practice, we have seen when a patient has developed, when a patient accidentally gets a hip dislocation, his head of the femur is disrupted of all the blood supplies. And when we put it back in the femoral, in the acetabulum, we always say to the patient, oh, you have got a chance of avascular necrosis developing in due course of time. What is that due course of time? That can be 1 year, 1.5 years, or 2 years. And we have seen in our practice, that means the day the patient has lost the blood supply, the avascular necrosis in the X-ray picture will appear after 2 years. That means when the patient is coming to you, the problem has started much before. Now he is getting pain, and that too non-specific pain. So it is very difficult to identify the cause of the pain, because many times patient does not complain about the hip pain. He may come to the doctor as complaining about the knee pain. And as a doctor, we only concentrate on the knee, ignoring the hip. I have seen so many times that the hip is suffering from avascular necrosis. There is a referred pain to the knee joint. Knee joint is coincidentally also having arthritis. So the doctor has done a TKR, ignoring the X-rays of the pelvis, which shows that the pain in the knee was a referred pain from the hip, which is suffering from avascular necrosis. So again I want to emphasize that avascular necrosis is the sequelae or at times go side by side with arthritis. And that is the reason when you treat this patient with anti-arthritic DMARDs, they reverse. Now, 5 types: non-specific, X-ray revealing diagnosis, due to dull ache, pain around the groin and the buttock, increases due to prolonged weight bearing, standing or walking, and limping. And fourth is limp and decreased range of motion. Limp and decreased range of motion are the easiest patient to diagnose. And X-ray, I told you, is not the ideal tool for investigation. Normal X-ray still has the disease. So in doubt, always mention in your prescription that the patient needs an MRI of the pelvis. Early changes, regional osteoporosis within the femoral head is seen. Central radiolucency with a peripheral sclerosis is seen in an X-ray. Get an AP view in extension and 30° of flexion, because the avascular area is in the anterior segment of the femoral head, which goes into the top part of the femoral head when we do a 30° flexion of the hip, and that time it may be visible. So 2 X-ray pelvis, one is plain and another one in 30° of hip flexion is advisable. Lateral view in order to see that area or the crescent sign or that triangular area in the anterosuperior part of the femoral head is visible. See, this is the lateral view. And this is the AP view, in which you can barely see any avascular segment or a necrotic area, but in the 30° flexion, you can see that the area has gone with the flexion at the top of the region, and you can see the radiolucency indicating that this is a avascular necrotic segment. See, this is the crescent sign seen in the lateral view. This is the triangular area, and there is a minor subchondral fracture. We will discuss about this later, that it is just beginning of the stage 4, and because the fracture has started happening, so it is the end of stage 3. Stage 3 means the integrity and the shape of the femoral head is intact. Stage 4 means that it has just started losing the shape because of the fracture in the crescent dome. See, this is the lateral view, in which you can see the radiodense area of the femoral head of AVN. Variations in the femoral head supply is always well documented. Treatment is control synovitis with methotrexate and other DMARDs. Neutralize the effect of methotrexate by folic acid. Antioxidant agents given at the time of steroid therapy prevent avascular necrosis induced by the steroid-induced oxidative stress. So every steroid intake should be associated with antioxidant agent like vitamin A. Blood thinners increase the perfusion and take the medication further inside the site of inflammation, enhance the creeping substitution. And vitamin D should be kept near 100 microgram per ml to enhance bone healing. This is the principle of the treatment. Supplement calcium and simple protein to support tissue healing. Don't forget to add probiotic to increase the gut absorption, as hyperacidity and colitis are concomitant pathologies. See, these are the list of investigation. We will talk about the treatment in the next episode, in which the principles of treatment, associated problems with the disease are all discussed, and how to manage them skillfully by the use of medication I will be discussing later on. But what are the associated investigations? These are the associated investigations which the patients will need before you start my therapy. So I request all of you who are using my regime to get these investigations beforehand, so that in subsequent visits you can compare the fresh results with their earlier results. So this is the list. The principles of therapy. This is an autoimmune reaction. This will decrease, it will cause decrease in the level of biotoxins like PG1, PG2, TNF alpha, cytokines, etc., and prevent tissue degeneration and breakdown. It will control acidity and GI irritability for better tolerance and absorptions of DMARD. I give usually 4 DMARDs in minimal doses. Examples of the cases, just have a look. See, you can see arthritis as well as avian. 6 months, you see that there is a beginning of development of JSW, that means joint space width. See, so our classical teaching says that the joint space gone is gone forever, but this is not true. Can you see this? That this has developed joint space, as you can compare it from the other side, and the patient can squat as well. So she is a classical picture of avian who has been treated with my regime and has developed and has recovered the range of motion fit for activities of daily living. See, this is left is okay, but the right is in a bad shape. This is the stage 5 of the right side. No problems in this gentleman. See, he is also squatting on the floor. This is the classical picture which I used to give many years ago. This is 2010. That means 10 years ago. I also used to give osteophos, which I don't give anymore. See the range of motion in the affected hip. See, bilateral. And see the intact joint space. See, this is a gradually creeping substitution in progress. You can see that the sclerotic area is being gradually replaced by new bone. See, the same patient can now squat as well in my clinic. This is the range, is the abduction. This is another patient who came to me with bilateral avian. He squats 6 hours a day. He's a fish seller. See, during the treatment, how fast he recovers. This is the range of motion, flexion. This is the external rotation. This is the internal rotation. This is the internal rotation in both the sides. And he has resumed his job and become completely okay. So my message to you all is, whatever the stage, my patient may come to you, start the regime, and you can see the results, magical results in a few months' time. This is an MRI I want to discuss. See, the right side of the hip is okay, but the left side shows bone edema, synovitis, and avascular necrosis. So this is the stage you can see, and also diagnose yourself. Don't wait for the diagnosis coming from the radiologist, because in the next stage, you will have to compare this MRI with the while the patient is on the treatment. So you have to compare this MRI with the next MRI. See, as the treatment starts, this area of bone edema recedes. From this stage to this stage in 2 months' time, in 3 months' time, recovery, pain-free range of motion. 4 months' time, you see, stage 4, it has started recovering. The joint space is intact. The joint space is intact. See the recovery and the functional status of the patient. So there are so many examples. Now the other group members are also using the same regime, and they are finding the results same like this. So this is not a magic in my hand. I can transfer the magic to other people who are also using the regime. Thank you very much. I hope to explain the medication and the prescription in my next talk.